Okay, hello, I'm H. Bentham. You can call me Ben. And as you have seen in the PowerPoint, I write mostly romance and poetry. Um, for tonight, I'm going to read an excerpt from Mambabarang Boy, which is part of this anthology, the Encuentro Tales of the Strange and Supernatural. Now, my story is a little more on the fantasy side, not much horror, but our anthology features five different Filipino folkloric creatures. So my one is about a Mambabarang, just a short background because I'm going to read something from the middle of the story. So just a little background. Um, my story is about a Mambabarang boy, which a Mambabarang is basically a witch, um, someone from the province who practices um, supernatural magic. But mostly they are healers, but also sometimes they are regarded as um, otherworldly themselves. So I'm gonna start reading now. Okay. Tonight at the lake, when the moon is full and bright. What did you say? I asked him, taking a few steps forward to catch up. What did you say to me? I said, leave me alone, Christ Tim. He kept walking. No, something about the lake and the moon. He stopped immediately and turned to me. I saw a flash of worry in his eyes, but it was gone the next split second. I didn't say anything. You must be hearing things. He sprinted again, and I was finally left in the hallway on my own. I could swear it was his voice I heard just now, and recalling the eerie voice this morning, it sounded like Michael too. I didn't know why I decided to wait by the lake in the light of a full moon, but it wasn't like there was anything else to do tonight. Everyone I know were going to the gym, and those who weren't, namely Brett, were in no shape to be outside. To be truly honest, though, I was a little intrigued by the eerie voice today. It told me to go here twice, so it must be important. Still, no matter how important I thought it was, I dozed off on one of the huge tree roots around the lake. I glanced at my wrist, I glanced at my wristwatch in what I felt was just minutes after and jolted up when I read 11:58 p.m. I'd been here for hours. I stood up and straightened my clothes with my palms. When I was about to go, I heard footsteps. It was faint at first, but the systematic leaf crunching sounds of someone who walked on 2 feet grew louder. I decided to hide behind a wide tree trunk and waited for the person to go away. It could be a night patrol on his rounds. I didn't do anything illegal, but being in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night was undeniably suspicious. The sounds came nearer and nearer until it stopped a few paces from where I was. I raised my head slowly, wanting to have a quick peek of possibly the only other person with me here in the woods. I was surprised to see someone I seemed to be regularly bumping into today, Michael. He was wearing a weird robe, and on his right hand he was clutching what I could only assume as a knife or a blade. He was standing on the edge of the lake, looking intently at the water. I could only see half of his face, but I had no doubt that it was Michael. The moon was so high and bright in the sky now. I stared at the face of my former best friend, wondering what he could be doing. I saw his lips move, like he was saying something into the water. He then raised the blade above his head, pointed it to the moon, and his words grew louder. He was chanting something I couldn't understand. And as if that wasn't mind-boggling enough, his robes dropped to the water and revealed that he was wearing nothing underneath it. My jaw practically dropped to the ground as well. This latent crush I had for him, the very reason our friendship disintegrated right before my eyes 2 years ago, awoke as I took in the entirety of his nakedness. His build was better than I remembered. His broad shoulders seemed broader now, and the fit hardness of his chest and abs were somewhat new to me. Of course, my eyes wandered lower down to his bush, but since all I had before was an innocent crush, nothing would have prepared me for this glorious show of nudity. Still, though, I wondered what the hell he was up to. No person in their right mind would go in the middle of the woods with just a robe and a possible murder weapon. If this was a sexual kink, then maybe it was for the best that the kiss I gave him that fateful day was all that happened between us. Unless there were rumors of his mother being a Mambabarang, a witch. I didn't know the first thing about myth and magic, but this was 100% natural. Could it be supernatural? I was starting to get scared for my life when a drop of moonlight, I didn't know how else to describe it, fell down from the moon and touched the tip of the blade he was holding. It erupted into a rain of light, covering his whole body in body glimmer. I might have lost my mind then, because instead of questioning logic, I thought it was incredible and beautiful. I thought he was beautiful. Michael, naked and shimmering like a cluster of stars in the night, was perfect. One mistake I wish I hadn't done was to stand in awe and gasp audibly at this spectacle. The moment the gasp left my lips, he abruptly turned and aimed the blade at me. A bright white light flashed before my eyes and knocked me to the ground. Before I allowed the heavy feeling to overwhelm my senses, I felt my torso being lifted up from the moist ground. I heard Michael's voice again, like a dream. "Oh, Timothy, what are you doing here?" That's it. Okay, thank you.